Bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Well. How you doing? Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Today's Wednesday, December 28th. 363 days into the new year, just 3 days left. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the planet. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? With that, on this very special broadcast, our last broadcast, normal broadcast of the year, heading into New Year's weekend, right before the show tonight, it was announced, yes, Debbie Reynolds, one of Hollywood's greatest ever, died today. One day after her daughter, Carrie Fisher, passed. Totally unreal. I know. But I'll say this. She lived a long, good one. I just wish she would have passed away 2 or 3 days ago. Right? Because no parent needs the heartbreak of having one of their children leave this earth, and that's the broken heart that was there. Took Debbie, so there you go. All right, Debbie Reynolds. Wow, it's just numbing. But there you go. Okay, so let's do this one for Debbie. Totally cool, man. I was tempted to play Tammy. Or you know, something, singing in the rain, something, but just couldn't do it. I was listening to it before the show, and I couldn't get through it, so I wouldn't do that to you. And there you go. Okay, all right, Debbie, you're with your daughter. There you go. Tonight we welcome back the one and only Laurie McDonald. And we are going to do, we've been talking about this now for close to 2 weeks, full night on the Mandela Effect. Tomorrow night will be our last show of the year. It is Fader Night with John Rappaport and his No More Fake Newsroom live. And followed by open lines all night long. So it's going to be fun, action-packed tomorrow night. Let's do this. Call the numbers 323-825-5045. We're going to have the phone lines open all night tonight, because we are talking about the Mandela Effect with Laurie McDonald. And we do want to hear from you. I've got a full list in front of me of different aspects of the Mandela Effect that we're going to talk about tonight. And so there you go. And we do want to hear from you. Laurie would like to hear from you. So we're going to open up the phone lines at the top of the hour, and we'll take it from there, 323-825-5045. Follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. That's what you want to do. At JChurchRadio, Facebook, YouTube, everything's Fade to Black. Jimmy Church Radio, Fade to Black, blah, blah, blah. Go follow, like, and subscribe. Go to the website. Do it. All the little buttons are right there. Email throughout the show, Jimmy at JimmyChurchRadio.com. The Sandbox is hashtag F2B on Twitter. Come and hang out with us. We don't bite. All right? At JChurchRadio, Twitter. Tweet deck. Go get her done. Come and hang out with us. Okay. All right. Oh, man. Debbie Reynolds. Okay. Focus. Happy holidays to everybody. Go and click on all of our sponsors. The banners are over at jimmychurchradio.com. Life Change Tea, getthetea.com, River Moon Coffee, Studio Dome, Zipa. Everything is there. All right. And all of the promo codes that you need for each of our sponsors are right there. So go and click support the show. The first big conference of the season is coming up, Conscious Life Expo, February 10th through the 13th at the LAX Hilton right here in Los Angeles, California. We'll be broadcasting Fade to Black from the Plaza Ballroom on Friday the 10th. Come and hang out with us. You want to come see the show live. I'm serious. You really do. Ask any Fader that's ever been there. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So come and hang out with us. That is February 10th through the 13th at the LAX Hilton. All right, let's get the show cracking. Happy birthday to Linus Torvalds today is just 47. He's a kid. He's the Linux developer. Unbelievable, man. Only 47. Stan Lee, still doing it right here in Burbank. 94 years old. Happy birthday, Stan. On this day in history, in 1895, it happened. The first commercial movie, the first movie tickets. Yeah, to the public. The first movie commercial, the real deal, screened at the Café Grand in Paris on this day in 1895. The two brothers that invented the projector, right, which it was a combination projector camera. They figured out a way to get the camera to actually be a projector, right? So they did that. And the movie was a blockbuster, as you can imagine, right? It was the only one you could see. And then after that, Edison went and did his thing, and the guys thought, this movie thing isn't going to go anywhere. So just right after that, they quit the business. They quit the business. Could have owned it all, man. But they walked away. They didn't think movies would be a big thing. All right. Fader fact. A New York man spent almost 5 months in prison in 2014, unaware that his bail was $2. $2. His attorney didn't tell him. Let him rot in a jail cell for 5 months. Now, I'm not going to say the guy's name or anything because it went south from there. And one thing led to another. But by all accounts, because of one thing leading to another, could have bailed out for $2, straightened out his life, and got things back on track. But things went south for him while in jail, and he is still there. That is a Fader fact. Well, I've been talking a lot about Echo, right? Amazon Echo and Google Home and so forth. And, I talked about it a lot over the last year, smart devices and stuff. And how you just got to avoid them. You've got to have tape over your stuff. I do here in the studio. Tape. And I just do. And we have a couple of, we have a bunch, I shouldn't say a couple, of webcams here in the studio. As you know, we used to broadcast live, and we're going to do it again after the first of the year, by the way, live video feeds. But I keep tape over those, too, as well. And the microphones on the webcams all have tape on them. Just do. We've got a couple of laptops here in the studio. We run the show with 5 computers, right? and 2 laptops that do specialized thing. Tape. Tape on the microphones, tape on the cameras. And so today, suddenly, mainstream media started picking up on this Echo story that I did. And, okay, so they're listening to the show. Okay, great, whatever. But I think mainstream media needs to lock in on this. I think we're getting a little bit too free with smart devices. Man, smart meters, smart toothbrushes. And when I say that, I'm not joking. A smart mirror in your bathroom. Think about that. Think about that before you go and pull the trigger. Okay? Just think. Let your imagination run with that thought. A smart mirror in your bathroom. No, don't even be tempted. Don't listen to the hype. Don't do it. Well, check this out. On Christmas Day, a family member of a software developer, and his name is Darren Cawthon, received a Christmas gift, albeit unwelcome, because according to Cawthon, who is a software developer, this guy's a known dude, by the way, that this person, and I'm going to continue with this in just a second, downloaded an app to watch a movie on his or her LG smart TV. Now, this person may or may not be Cawthon's sister, but that's enough. So we'll just go with this for now. All right. Protect her identity. And when she downloaded this app to watch this movie on her LG smart TV, the device froze, the TV. And when it rebooted, it was stuck on a screen showing a letter from the desk of FBI Director James Comey. Now, I've seen the shots from the cell phones of the TV with this letter on it. And the letter, which was a letter from James Comey, was sideways. Okay? So, a letter is, so imagine that on a sideways on the TV. There it is. And it was claiming in sub-grammatical English that the device had been locked up for your attendance, and I'm quoting here in the letter, your attendance of the forbidden pornographic sites, end quote. Now, I know that you've seen ransomware like this from time to time. I've seen it a few times where it's just popped up in my browser. Your computer has been seized. And for me, I just immediately, and it's strange when it pops up too, But anyway, I just unplug the computer. I just go for it right there. Boom, bam. Ethernet cable. I don't Wi-Fi. So Ethernet cable gets yanked, computer gets shut down, rebooted, and I've always run clean. But it had that line. To make good, the letter warned. I've read the letter myself. The device's owner would have to pay a $500 fine. Now, what I am saying to you is ransomware is now running rampant on smart televisions. The TV in question appears to be infected with a version of the cyber.police ransomware, also known as Flocker, Flocker, also known as Frantic Locker or Dogspectus. Now, while Frantic Locker has primarily affected Android smartphones and widespread, I might add, the TV was, as Cawthon has explained on Twitter, and his Twitter thread about this is amazing, by the way. An early model of Google TV, one that runs on a version of the Android operating system, as do most smart TVs. Smart anything runs on Android. Well, ransomware works by taking over a system until a user pays a fee. We get that, often in the form of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin or digital gift cards, right? One recent high-profile ransom attack shut down much of San Francisco's public transit system, while another targeted a Hollywood hospital. Two famous stories. More mundane ransomware has been reported on Android devices since at least 2014. And Frantic Locker first began to show up on phones in 2015, although such programs can be dangerous, especially for the unprepared, right? Because most freak out. They can often be relatively easy to clear off of a system, even if you don't want to pay the fee, right? A lot of people do. As ransomware goes out, people freak out. They can't turn off their device. The power switch doesn't work. It's just completely frozen, and you can't get out of the browser. You can't do anything. You're stuck. Excuse me. And people panic. Can't believe I just coughed and didn't hit the cough button. People freak out. And me, I don't go to crazy sites. I don't surf for porn or go to crazy sites. So I'm not scared. They're not turning me in for anything or anybody in my house. So I'm not worried about that. But it's just the fact that your files, your digital files, and especially if you don't back things up, your photographs and maybe your taxes or PDF files or just things or just your business or whatever, those things get locked out and you don't have it backed up, you're kind of stuck and paying this ransomware unless you effectively know what to do, right? Well, TV-based ransomware is somewhat more worrisome, and this is where I tend to freak out. In part because it can be difficult to remove. And this isn't like your smartphone. This isn't like your computer and which you know how to navigate. But once you are dealing with a smart television, a smart refrigerator, navigating that and trying to figure out what to do, you've barely conquered your latest cell phone, right? And finally figured that out until you get your next one. But a TV is different. And security researchers from Trend Micro, and I went and checked this out today, started to look into this a little bit. They warned in a report earlier this year that, man, it is tough. It is tough. Seeing that risk realized in the wild seems to substantiate those fears. You cannot do anything, at least because traditional Android workarounds are failing to fix the problems that are infected on smart televisions. Nobody knows what to do. Trend Micro suggests that users with infected devices contact the device vendor for a solution. Right? There just isn't, and go and Google how to remove ransomware from your smart television. You're going to get nothing. LG, if you contact LG right now, you contact Samsung right now, you know what they're going to tell you? Take the TV out of your home and visit one of our service centers. That's right. The 60-inch smart TV has somehow got to fit in your car, and you have to take it to a service center where they will attempt to reset back to factory settings. That service comes with a hefty price tag, $340. So enough really that you might be just better off buying a new television. Right? That's where we are at, people. So now you've got a $500 fee right there on the screen to get your TV back. Oh, man. Do you do that? Do you unplug your television, call everybody, try to find a service center, try to get something set up, and then find out if you bring it in, sure, we'll do it for you for $340. Or choice number 3, break the TV in half out of anger and go and buy another one. Seriously. Now, if you, this is no joke, and this goes across the board. Now you will have this same situation on all of your smart devices. Everyone. You think you got the coolest, baddest house and everything is plugged in and everything is smart, and you walk in the house and your stuff turns on automatically and you're getting toast in the morning, and man, life is wonderful, and your refrigerator's telling you when to buy milk next, right? That's what we're up against. Somebody could just take over everything. And I said this probably, a year, maybe 2 years ago, when I said I can effectively predict here that the next big deal, the next big hack, the next crazy thing that's going to go down is not going to be Bank of America. It's not going to be the NSA servers getting hacked. It's going to be every smart refrigerator in the country. All at the same time. Blip. You guys want your food back? Pony up. You want your TVs back? Pony up. That's what's next. There has to be, and this is where all smart manufacturers need to get together right now and figure out a ransomware reset, something that could be done at the house, something where you don't have to take your 60, 70-inch TV, unplug it out of your system, throw it in your car, and take it to a service center and get charged to reset back to fact. There's got to be a switch to flip. Just erase the TV, and here you go. USB drive. Something. They need to get together. So all of this smart stuff, all of this smart technology cannot be controlled by somebody that really has bad intentions. You know, this show is about conspiracies. It's about knowledge. And I'm telling you, this smart world that we live in is scary now. It is scary. And when I mean this, I realize that my daughters, our daughters, are tech savvy, man. They want tech. They get it. You should watch them text. I just look like, I don't know, if my dogs can text faster than I can text. Watch my daughters. They're insane. And they enjoy tech. And it breaks my heart that I have to go, no. And Amazon Echo, no. Google Home, no. But that's what they want. They want to be able to go, look at the speaker and go, play Drake. I get that. I do. But I have to say no. And we all do. We need to pump the brakes on this technology truck, man. We have to. This is totally scary. And we have, right now over at the house, Rita, how many smart TVs do we have now? I guess we have 3, right? And it's too much. And you can't get a TV. You can't get a dumb TV. You can't get a dumb device. You can't. And we've got Fire Sticks and Amazon TV throughout the house. Not Amazon, Apple TV. It's getting too smart for me to handle. Way, way too smart. Now, tonight, I want your suggestions on this. What should we do? Should we get a petition together and hit Samsung, right? And hit LG, Insignia, right? And Sony, and hit everybody with this. Should we do it? I mean, it's pretty scary. Now, tonight we're going to do the Mandela Effect, and with Laurie McDonald. And something strange hit me today with the Mandela Effect. And it was weird. All right? Now check this out. I want to see right now in Twitter. We've got 60 seconds before I get Laurie in here. Mandela. Is Mandela 1L or 2? Mandela Effect. Nelson Mandela. Is Mandela 1L or 2? Let's see. What is it? I'll wait for the delay here. Is Mandela Effect 1L or 2? Don't cheat. Don't cheat. Do not cheat. Mandela Effect. Haven't we done this show before? Yeah, John Porter, we have not. See? There it is. 1L, 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 1L. Okay. What if I said it was 2 L's? What if I said it was 2 L's? This is Fade to Black. Tonight, Laurie McDonald is here. What a way to wrap up our last Fade to Black for 2016. Laurie McDonald, the Mandela Effect. You can follow Laurie, True You. Well, you can go at Laurie McDonald. It'll still pop up. But you know what to do. Everything is right there on Twitter, at JChurch Radio. This is Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. Tonight, the one and only Laurie McDonald, and your phone calls, the Mandela Effect, all night long. Stay with us.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi, folks. It's a holiday season with hope in the air. Things to look forward to and no time for despair. Health can be a challenge, and so can the mail. So Get the Tea wants to help you by giving you a sale. Buy 2 months of Super Tea and get 1 month for free. No limit. That's buy 2 months of Super Tea and get 1 month free. That's a savings of $35. Where? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Scroll down on the front page and find the buy 2, get 1 free ad. Click it and save. Orders over $100 get free shipping. Send the gift of life change tea at GetTheTea.com. We have many, many non-GMO organic supplements just waiting for you. This holiday season, enjoy health and Thanksgiving with GetTheTea.com. Want to call us? 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. GetTheTea.com is a proud sponsor of Doing What's Right. That's GetTheTea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Hi, this is Chase Kletzky with Fate Magazine Radio, and you're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station where the Fade or Nots rock.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. Tonight, the Mandela Effect. Full on. Tomorrow night, our last Fader night, last show of the year with John Rappaport and his No More Fake Newsroom Live, followed by open lines all night long. I'm going to keep the lines open pretty much tonight. We'll do it at the top of the hour because with the Mandela Effect, it's also about you. And Laurie would like to hear from you, too, as well. Laurie McDonald is a graduate of the Dale Carnegie Effective Speaking and Human Relations and is a graduate of the Alchemical Hypnotherapy Institute of Sacramento. She also assisted in teaching for the Alchemical Hypnotherapy Institute of New Mexico. Laurie is a member of the Sacramento Hypnosis and Sacramento Institute of Noetic Sciences, A.C.H.E., the American Council of Hypnotist Examiners, and has been a certified clinical hypnotherapist since 1995. Man, say that. You know, Laurie, I'm going to bring you in now. How do you expect me to say this? It's like the ultimate test of a radio host right here. This is, I think,
it really is.
Yeah, when if I ever teach a class, I'm going to use your bio for everybody to get a grade. Both the USA and the rest of the world are going through very big changes today. And on the show tonight, we are going to talk about the Mandela Effect full on. And her website is trueyouhypnotherapy.com. I'd like to welcome back our friend, Laurie McDonald. Laurie, good evening.
Good evening, Jimmy.
How are you?
I am filled with joy. How are you?
I am filled with joy. Let me say this. I mean, I don't want to ignore the obvious here, but I'm kind of bummed about Debbie Reynolds, man. You know, and you know, Carrie Fisher was dramatic enough. And 2016, this is where I wanted to go with this. I mean, have we ever experienced so much talent and so many people that, you know, that we looked up to and appreciated their talents disappearing from planet Earth in a year like 2016? I want 2017 to get here now.
It's coming soon.
Yes, it is. We're going to see you actually down here over at the house in a couple of days for Rita's Big Bash, and I'm excited about that. Are you guys ready?
Absolutely. We are getting ready to head south and bring in the new year.
Yeah, I can't wait. And we're going to do it in style. And so as far as who is going to be here and what's going on, I just let a little bit of it slip. Yes, celebrities are in tow. Laurie's going to be here with her husband, but we'll post pictures. But it's a private gathering of some really cool people, and I just can't wait to get you guys down here.
We're very excited.
Do you know the menu? Have you been privy to what's going on?
I do not know the menu.
Perfect. Well, you already know we don't play, right? We don't.
That's
play.
For sure.
We don't play. So, okay. The Mandela Effect. let's get a little bit serious here with this, because I think it is
absolutely.
I think it is a very serious situation, and one that has had its effect on me. I have caught myself tripping out on a few different things, and it's starting to, for me personally, to go, hey, wait a minute here. Either I'm losing my mind, or there's something else going on. Now, it could be that I'm losing my mind, or that
something else is right. Definitely,
or that we on. Are. Well, see, that wouldn't that indicate that we are all losing our minds, right? No, it can't be that. It's got to be something else. So we'll get into that. But the first time, take me back, baby sister, take me back. The first time that you heard about the Mandela Effect, what did you think?
I'll be honest with you. It was a couple of years ago, and my son had mentioned something to me about the Berenstain Bears. And do I remember reading that to him? And I said, I do. And he said, well, the name had changed. And I thought that it was just people making the mistake really between Berenstain and Berenstein. You know, for me, Berenstain wasn't even an option.
Right.
And so I kind of let it go as to people misremembering. And I woefully regret that now, because it wasn't until I noticed that people were being emotionally traumatized and shaken that I felt that I really needed to begin to research it heavily. I went into the deep net, and I've entered the United States Patent Office full text and image database, and have been able to pull up patent numbers and trademarks for products that are remembered in a specific timeline. For instance, Captain Crunch, spelled correctly,
right.
CPTAIN.
Right.
I do have that patent number and trademark, and that was done back in 1960. So what we're looking at is residual effects. So when we go ahead and contact the corporation, we see that they make no claim to rebranding or logo changing or anything name changing into that regard whatsoever. So we're up against a brick wall. What is to one believe we're given what should be considered official documentation of records and patent numbers, as well as trademarks with full text and images right in this database for anybody to get into. And we see that it did exist.
Yes. Let's stay here for a second. The Fadernauts out there all know about my affection for all things Captain Crunch. Right?
Oh, okay. Well, it's what I craved when I was pregnant. And so I know the box well.
I know the box well. Now, I remember probably, I remember when this happened. So it was in the mid-'80s. And I remember seeing Cap'n, right? Not Captain, but Cap'n, and said to myself, when did this change? And I went and I literally had this conversation, and they were like, no, dude. And then we had this, this is 30 years ago, and this Captain Crunch thing, and I still say Captain, right? But it's
of course,
but it's Cap'n with a hyphen. Now, right. Okay, so let's stay with this for a second. When did this change happen? And now they're saying officially they did this in 1960. They cleared it with Captain, right?
Yeah, I mean, in the patent office, I've also been able to find patent numbers for Cap'n Crunch cereal bars, but not the cereal.
Right.
Just cereal bars spelled incorrectly. I think this alternative timeline is, maybe out of the movie Idiocracy, because there is a lot of misspelling and things that just absolutely make no sense whatsoever, where it's left me scratching my head.
Now, I'm going to defer over to Twitter really quick. Let's let the audience post some pictures of Captain Crunch boxes. And they have the ability to go where you and I probably never would on the web. But let's pull this stuff up. And what does everybody remember with Captain Crunch? Was it always Cap'n? C-A-P. It's hyphen, right? C-A-P hyphen N.
Comma.
Comma.
hyphen. Yeah, you're right. Sorry about that.
Hyphen, Cap'n Crunch. And I'm telling you, it threw me for a complete loop. And I don't know. This is one where, even though it seems kind of simple to everybody, these are products that we grew up with that we know intimately well. So that's where my concern is. And I got in fights with my roommates about now. And this was the thing, Laurie. I had a divided household with my roommates back in Pasadena about this. Okay, half of them were like, "No, dude, you're right. It was Captain." And then I had the other half going, "No, it's Cap'n." Now that's weird. Okay, I'm looking at that's a new one. Let's go with old boxes. Who can post some pictures of the original boxes? Okay, so now this patent search. What else did you find?
Febreze by Procter & Gamble, spelled Febreze or Z-E. And that's how I remember it, with 2 E's, like a ocean breeze. And in fact, they have a sheet or a towel hanging on the clothesline, blowing in the breeze, and the product is Febreze. So I've been able to get that patent number. And so now we see that it reads Febreze. Again, what? Idiocracy.
No.
It doesn't even match the logo. Yeah. So that one really, actually, I tripped out a little bit. And I'm trying not to trip. I want to remain objective because I'm a researcher. So I created 6 specific categories for Mandela effects. So I could put them into the categories and then look for a pattern or a code, a message, something. So I did create the categories, but, I kept initially, when we ask ourselves, what is the Mandela effect or what might cause it, we have to look at who might the usual suspects be. We kind of have to look at it like we're trying to solve a mystery. And we have to look at the United States government, CIA, PSYOPs. We have to look at the biggest physicist lab in the world, CERN. We have to look at some very highly guarded think tank projects that have things that study things like quantum entanglement and the D-wave, quantum computing, because this is when it gets very interesting when we start to look at the quantum computing aspect of the Mandela wave. So if we look at one of the hypotheses that CERN, using the acronym ALICE, a large ion collider experiment, did create this particle smashing where they created a tear or a rip in the fabrics of reality, that node between the 2 dimensions, that split hair between this frequency and the station on the next frequency, that alternative reality. So if they did that, what we have to assume is, if they did it using the D-wave quantum entanglement computer theory, that there is another quantum computer in the alternative reality. Now, if these 2 computers link up, and then that's what physics tells us that would happen when we look at entanglement, then we look at a computer with the capabilities of making such changes, or perhaps even going rogue. But ALICE is an acronym used also by the Department of Defense for Automated Logistic Integrated Computer Extracts. I've also found that ALICE is also used for another acronym for Artificial Linguistic Internet Computer Entity. So it is artificial intelligence, no matter which way we look at this. And we have to bring this into play here. We have to look at it as in terms of a simulated reality, because quantum computing could in fact do that. And I believe the physicist's goal was to recreate the effects just after the Big Bang, just to see what might happen. And of course, I think most people realize that one of the things other people were concerned about was them creating a black hole. A lawsuit even was filed and dismissed but it did get a lot of attention because of the probability, if the experiment worked, that it could create a black hole, because we're just really playing with things now that we shouldn't be. And that is the problem with alternative and alternate or parallel realities. In the overall ascension of the human soul, one is to rise. It is to move up into fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh dimensional thinking, becoming lighter, more godlike as we move home, not being pulled or tricked or manipulated into an alternate or parallel, because this would create, in fact, a time loop, bringing us back into the same five senses, three-dimensional world that we exist in now. And the goal, I believe, for the soul is to ascend. So I am looking at these different artificial intelligence like Alice, and wondering, is it possible that the actual biggest hacking of all times is a hacking of the human collective unconscious, that they in fact hacked the unconsciousness of humanity using either a large energy wave hitting the earth or ELF waves or sound frequencies, which could be sent through any type of monitor, cell phone, laptop, tablet, TV. So that was a rabbit hole.
Yeah, well, and see,
that was a rabbit hole. That part of the research for sure.
That what scares me about that is the network, the ability, the logistical side, the technical side to do just that. That infrastructure is clearly in place. They only have to have the intent, and they only have to a lack of morals. And the intent, and then a goal, and then certainly, because with all of the cell phone towers, with all of the Wi-Fi networks, you don't necessarily need to have a device in your hand or put something up to your ear. You know, we have all of those digital signals flying around us, streaming ones and zeros all day long. It never stops.
No, yeah, that's absolutely right. And so some of the evidence that I'm trying to get into my hands physically, but have not yet, is a woman who says that she purchased a book, Berenstein Bears, First Baby or New Baby or something like that. Trust me, I have 3 copies now. But what's interesting about her particular story is that she lives in a no cell phone area and sketchy or limited Wi-Fi at best. So she's in an isolated area. So if this is a hack or a wave that can affect basically mind control through electromagnetics or some type of beamed energy, even an ELF wave, maybe even Gwen waves, the lower, longer wave, then it's a slower change and people won't notice it happening. But the truth is, it actually has the ability to sort of erase short-term memory. That's what a lot of these radio waves can do to people. And they're quite dangerous, in fact. And I know people say, oh, the cell phone towers, it's no big deal. But I think that, well, I had a couple of strange dreams about them, and then I woke up doing some mathematical equations on it's a long story. I'd rather tell you that one in person. But what it did bring me to was the fact that it would be easy, actually, simple, for them to send specific waves that could change our perception, because this is what's happening, is that reality, as people understand it or as they perceive it, has been altered or changed. And it's only in a simulated reality that when we see a variable is changed, that it indicates a simulation. But otherwise, our past being organic, it should only change through our own personal perspective. We shouldn't see, for instance, words in books changing, such as, of course, the Snow White mirror, mirror on the wall, which I did order and have the 1939 version of it. And it does, in fact, read magic mirror on the wall, which to me just is not in my perception of reality.
Right there. That the first time that I read that, okay, for me, first off, I'm a guy, right? So it may not quite resonate with me, but as it would, a young girl, right? That read Snow White and was into Snow White and dressed up like Snow White and so forth. I didn't dress up like Snow White.
I waited for my prince.
Right. Well, see, exactly. Now, for you, and because those words are as classic as anything goes, right? And for you to go back and get the original edition, and it says magic mirror, now what do you say to yourself? I mean, is it you? Is your mind?
Well, luckily, I have a very strong sense of myself, and I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. So if the subject is iffy, then it's off the table. So I don't really research things that I don't have full recollection of. I have, and it's just as equally interesting. But for me, I'm just trying to have some type of a control group as far as, perspective of the information. And we have the tables are split when we see some people, saying, well, actually, I've never heard anybody yet say that in Star Wars. Darth Vader said, you or I am your father, whatever, not Luke, I am your father. Apparently that's been changed. And
well, I did see, this is where it's weird. And somebody can go ahead and post the video up from YouTube in Twitter. I did see a video. This guy got a Darth Vader Christmas ornament, a talking Christmas ornament, right? That says, Luke, I am your father, right?
Right.
And so he presses it, and it's in the video, and it says, Luke, I am your father, right? And then it never played it again after that. He kept played it one time, and it's live on the video. And the dude making the video is tripping because he knows, and he's trying to figure it out, and he's flipping the switch, and he's getting it to go. And I'm just saying, when it goes like that, that's when it starts to mess with your head. I don't know. What's your recollection when it comes to Darth Vader?
My son would be running around the house with both of his hands over his nose and mouth saying, Luke, I am your father, right? So that's what it was. Just like, obviously, Wizard of Oz, I watched the movie maybe 50 times. And at no time did I ever recall that the Scarecrow had a gun. And now the Scarecrow has a gun. And I don't remember that. Not only does the Scarecrow have a gun, the Tin Man has an axe and about a 36-inch pipe wrench as they enter the forest on their journey up to the castle to claim the Wicked Witch's broom, as they must give that to the wizard in order to be freed and go home. So as they enter, and the sign says, I would turn back now if I were you. And they get all scared and spooked out, and the flying monkeys are about to come. He pulls out a gun now, like a silver .45 revolver, and it's kind of shaky because he is a scarecrow, of course.
Right.
So, and who would give the brainless guy a gun? Does that make sense? Again, idiocracy. They should have given Dorothy the gun.
Right.
Just saying.
Right. And for me, when we talked about the Mandela Effect here a couple of times on the show. That was one thing. But
sure.
Out of the blue, things that had nothing to do with the Mandela Effect, ultimately they did. But when questions came up on the show about certain things in the past, and out of the blue one night, again, nothing to do with the Mandela Effect, but we were talking about JFK and his assassination. And so a caller calls into the show and says, well, there were, 6 people in the car, and you have to go back and listen to my reaction to this, because I go, no, there was 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm getting in this thing, and I was like, wait a minute. Was there 4 or was there 6? I remember, Connolly. I didn't remember his wife. And Connolly was sitting next to the driver in the front seat, and Kennedy was in the back with Jackie. And that's what happened. And that's how the magic bullet, got to Connolly, because he was sitting in front of him. And then we start looking at pictures, and I'm like, well, I could have sworn it was 4. And so in real time, nothing to do with the Mandela Effect, my memory is getting messed with. And that's one of the examples of me just going, holy crap, wait a minute here. My whole life, I had said on the air, I would have gone to court. I would have got on the stand and bet my life on a stack of Bibles that there was 4. Yeah,
well, there were 4 people. There were 4 people in the car. And if you slow the frame down to, I believe it's frame number 277 through frame 279, as the car is going around, you'll see that the 2 windows are partially up and that there is no bar division that they would have for the 6-seater. And then if we look at some of the other residual evidence, such as museums, and not only that, the FBI reenacted the assassination back in the 70s. There's a film on file, and they reenacted it with 4.
Yeah, 4.
So was that like a lousy, again, that a lousy reenactment?
I know. And so now.
So it was 4, Jimmy.
Oh, man.
And so, but what does this mean? So this is what I think what we need to be able to maintain, that we remember what we remember, and then look at things as the bigger picture. And okay, they cannot change the history. So far, they're only changing some circumstances of history, because in fact, history still shows us that unfortunately he was assassinated. And that's the historical moment, and that's what we should look at. So the rest, I think, is again sort of lower level and almost mischievous in a way that is trying to create like this self-doubt in people.
Right.
And I said this before in the extraterrestrial phenomena. If a man wears 2 watches, he never knows for sure what time it is. And when you're in that suspended state of and disbelief, you are opening the subconscious mind and more susceptible to gross hypnotism. And the truth is, in 2013, the laws were changed that now allow full subliminal advertising and any other type of subliminal messaging through the media.
Right.
So they're legally saying that they know what they're doing, and they know how to do that, because I know how to do that. Or we know how to move a person into a more open, receptive, subconscious mind by turning down the conscious mind, making them unaware of what's around them, and making it diminish, not go away, just turn it way down. So if we can do it, you watch somebody watching TV.
Well, let me jump in right there. We got to take a break right here. Okay, so we'll pick that part up on the backside. And the other thing that I want to talk about when we come back, Laurie, is, well, what's the ultimate agenda here? Is this a test run to make sure the systems work for full-on options of mind control in the future? Or are they doing this for some other reason now, today? This is Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Laurie McDonald. This is Fade to Black. We'll be right back. More with Laurie right after this short break.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
How you doing? It's Jimmy here from Zipa. Today I wanted to tell you about my efforts to achieve global elimination of snoring. It all starts with respect. respect for yourself and respect for others. Listen, you think you're being a nice guy or a nice girl by letting the guy or girl next to you sleep and snore every night. It's the ultimate disrespect to have that happen. You wake that person up and you tell them, go to Zyppah.com now. ZYPPAH.com. We're not going to tolerate this, all right? Snoring is not okay. Someone next to you is snoring, you tell them to buy a Zyppah. ZYPPAH.com. I know that you're listening to these snoring things and you're thinking, well, it don't apply to me. I don't have these problems. A lot of people are in denial, but it's true. Listen, if you're snoring, you got to stop it. What you got to do is get this fixed. Get a Zyppah and change your life. ZYPPAH.com.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring two Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hard shell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The two full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129 and use the promo code JCRTWS and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to JimmyChurchRadio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tepe.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back, Fade to Black, our last regular Fade to Black this year with the one and only Laurie McDonald. We're talking about the Mandela Effect tonight. And right now, my head is getting messed with in Twitter. And Laurie, before we get back to where we were in the conversation, Mark Tarana over in Australia just posted Fruit Loops. Right? And I'm looking at this. I'm looking at both version, right? Fruit, UIT, Fruit Loops with the, and then I'm looking at the Fruit Loops with two O's, fruit with two. And I don't know. They both look right.
No, I remember Fruit Loops also. That's a pretty big one for me because I wasn't allowed to have it when I was a kid. But I found that in the patent office too. In fact, I sent a picture of the patent. I just tweeted that for Captain Crunch.
Okay, stop for a second. Just mess with my head. Which is the correct version of Fruit Loops?
Okay, well, in this timeline where we know how to spell things correctly, it's F-R-U-I-T, fruit, not fraught, which would be the double O sound.
Right.
Or ooh, fruit. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but I do remember it was Fruit Loops, and I did find that in the patent office as well.
But when I go to the supermarket, which box do I see? Do I see the double O? Or
you see the double O, and that's the change for a lot of people.
Oh, wait. So
it went from Fruit Loops to F-R-O-O-T.
So today it's F-R-O-O-T, Fruit Loops.
That's right. And before it was actually Fruit Loops, which was fruit-flavored cereal.
When was it? So it was actually, okay, now this is starting to mess with my head. Are you saying that it used to be F-R-U-I-T for real?
For real. I saw it in the patent office.
And they changed. When did they make the change? Oh, this is messing with me.
Nobody made the change. The change just happened. Just like that's the idea about the Mandela effect. Now, I mean, I love some of the stuff on YouTube where people are calling the company that makes the adult diaper Depends. And they're saying, when did it change from Depends to just Depend? And the guy's getting all weirded out saying, man, I get these calls all the time. I mean, as long as I've ever worked here. But Jimmy, you can make a person believe it's always been like that, or you can make them believe it's been always another way. People are highly susceptible. They will second guess themselves. That moment of doubt is when they can insert whatever information that they want. I mean, and I think that to a certain extent that might be happening for whatever reasons, what agenda. We can only assume it is mind control because that's exactly what it's doing. That's another reason to understand yourself, have the ability to self-correct, and to meditate so that you can move beyond the static and trust yourself. Because when we're continuously looking outside for answers, we become off balance. We don't know what to believe, and we're easily manipulated. And the government will be able to offer you all sorts of things to make you feel better.
What about Looney Tunes? This just popped up.
I've got proof evidence, I guess, of TOONS, like cartoons, TOONS. Yeah.
But, man, this is messing with my head. Which one is the real one? I don't even know.
The one from they're both real. One is real because it exists in the specific timeline that we live in now. But if we want to ask ourselves, what timeline are we in? Here's the question that'll really blow your mind. Astrophysicists had always said that we in the universe, in the Milky Way, are specifically in the Sagittarius arm of the Milky Way. But now, astrophysicists are saying that we're in the Orion Spur, which is a smaller arm, or sometimes some physicists or astronomers call it the Orion Arm. It's really only a spur, though. But that's where they're saying our consciousness is coming from. That, in fact, we are a reflection of our true self or our higher self, or our highest consciousness is being imbued into this specific avatar of humanity, and that for somehow our consciousness has shifted perspective out of the Sagittarius arm, and now our perspective is from the Orion arm. Now, and if you were to look at the Milky Way up into the sky, look at it now in terms of, say, an old record album, where you would put the needle to play the first song, that's where the Sagittarius arm would be. The hole where you would drop the LP down on would be the center. The Orion arm is on the other side of that, and we would have been moved about halfway through the record. So we've been
right.
So can we physically be moved like that? No. Can our consciousness be moved like that, and our alpha consciousness, higher self perspective, be viewing reality now from that Orion spur? And of all of the hypotheses and theories of what the Mandela effect might be, the aspect of our consciousness shifting rings the truest to my heart.
Right. Well, I've often thought about just that. And when we think about, like the grooves on a record, that's a really good way to put it, because in one direction it's running one way, and then the groove on the other side is running in the opposite direction. And in that spiral, one step to the left or right, you're going backwards or forwards, not only in time, but in another reality, because that's where the universe is heading, in that direction.
That's right.
Right? And I've talked about that. Rita and I had this conversation that we're having right now, you and I, Laurie, 20 years ago. And I remember her and I just like, when you stop and look at things like that in the spiral sense, It's really, really trippy when you think about the universe and the way that it's going, because time in one way to the left or right of you is going in the opposite direction.
Right. And so I have to maintain that through everything. All roads lead to consciousness. So it's that alpha consciousness, our highest conscious awareness, is where we're viewing our reality from. So at one point, is it possible that many of us here were in the other timeline, and our consciousness now is here because now it says, Febreze, and now it says Cap'n Crunch, and here, they gave the scarecrow a gun. I mean, so this timeline, I know, sadly, doesn't seem like the higher one to me. Was because there are other changes, beyond things like iconic lines from movies or books or people's names. There is the aspect of geography. And so that brings us back to the consciousness again. And then if it is an AI, then we're looking at the hacking of the human consciousness. And above the mind, where the thoughts go out, there is a collective consciousness. And I think that's what's being hacked. I think that's a partial. Some people are being hacked, and I think that some people's consciousness is moved and they're perceiving from a different reality now. And I only say that because I've been out of my body. I know that my consciousness can reside elsewhere. I know that through consciousness expansion, you can perceive things. My personal experiences of having some pretty vast outer space perceptions where I truly did feel like there were light years between my eyes. I mean, all of it was, though, sort of heart-based and love. But what we see with the Mandela Effect is really people getting thrown off balance. But perhaps it is just a way of waking up humanity, waking them up to going, hey, there's probably a very good chance that the DOD or CERN would like us to think that they're responsible for this. They would like us to believe that they have that much power because that would disempower us. It seems to me, though, that the human consciousness supersedes all things, and that is the only thing that we can sort of count on. So that's our full perspective. That's us. That's the light behind the eyes. The only constant in the universe is change. So it's really, again, a lesson for us to awaken once again to a higher way of thinking outside, where things are more fluid, more flexible, where if we want it to say, Febreze or Kit Kat with, no dash or with a dash, or, then that's how we view it. So it's perception, and it always is. And, if the government or any other nefarious organization studying consciousness can realize that people are moving into a larger consciousness expansion, that we are beginning to explore and push reality, push the envelope to all things, really. They may try to take responsibility or hijack it so that they can control our way of thinking, since history shows us that that's generally what people that are governed, they get a government that tries to control their way of thinking, because that leaves the government in place and they're nice and secure. So they could easily do that, and it wouldn't be past them to try to take credit for it. But maybe through the actual ascension process, that we are now experimenting with moving our consciousness from different timelines, so we gain insight and perspective from alternate timelines. Because the question isn't, do alternate timelines exist? Because the multiple dimensional theory and math is proven, and to me, I accept it and believe that quite easily there are multiple dimensions. It's just a matter of how we enter and exit them, whether it's through our own ability to move in and out of our body, or if we're being directed through electromagnetics.
Well, and the other part that is frightening is it seems like they've gotten caught, right? We have caught them. Had we not have been able to look back and test our own memories and go, hey, things are different here than the way. It's not one person saying this or two. We're talking about millions and millions of people now that are remembering things differently. So now they've been caught. But if they perfect this, we would never know if history was changed or that our immediate world is being manipulated because it's in our very brains where it is being changed and tested. You know what I'm saying? It's a pretty frightening thing here. It's just that they got caught this time.
Well, it is frightening because it throws a person off balance.
Completely. It's throwing me off balance right now. Looking at C3PO here, this whole C3PO thing.
Right.
Now, look, just like Wizard of Oz, okay, I don't know how many times I've seen Wizard of Oz, but it's got to be 100 at least,
Yeah.
I would think. And the same thing with Star Wars. I have no idea how many times I've seen the original Star Wars or Empire. I have no idea. I don't. But this silver leg on C3PO, now there may be some hardcore Star Wars people out there that'll go, it was always silver. You know what?
No, in the fifth movie, he was injured and received from the knee down a silver leg. Now, I haven't been able to verify that. My daughter told me that, so I believe her. So she said, yeah, that was in the fifth movie, but prior to that, he was always, gold.
Well, okay. Oh, man. I'm looking at pictures here, and I would say that out of the 500 C3PO images I just looked at, 99% of them have him with both legs. With one leg silver.
Yeah, I know. So that's clearly a Mandela effect because it's two timeline difference. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really heard a lot of people either say, as far as Star Wars goes, saying, yeah, he always had that silver leg or, the Darth Vader line. But those ones, people are just, adamant. No, this is the way it was. This is what I remember. And I don't care what you say. This is my thought on it. So, yeah, there's a lot of people in that camp in the Star Wars. But there's other things, too, like Rick Field is the leading physicist at CERN.
Yes.
He is the brother to Sally Fields, in my mind, back when she was doing movies with Burt Reynolds, like Smokey and the Bandit. And I remembered her name being Sally Fields with an S, but apparently it's only Sally Field. And her brother is the head physicist at CERN. And one of the big two of the big Mandela effects are directly related to her. 3, if you count the spelling of her name. Her acceptance speech was changed. Her name was changed. And then she's the mom, that Forrest Gump is talking about when my mama said life is like a box of chocolates. She's the one that said it. So, we have like the, 6 degrees of the Mandela effect, because then she gets tied into the Forrest Gump, and then Tom Hanks gets brought into another one. Yeah, I got so many charts going on around here. It's a little bit scary. I think I've weirded some of my friends out. They're like, oh my God, you look like a mad scientist. But yeah, it's okay though, because, it's how I work. So, but
well, check
definitely,
this out.
It's weird.
This whole chartreuse thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so check this out. We were, you know what? I'll just go ahead and say it. We were going to do a Mandela Effect segment on our new TV show, right, for history, and we're going to do it next season, whatever, But so I was talking to one of the producers, and I'm at a car wash, and over here in the valley, and there's about 10 or 15 people sitting around me everybody's in this area, waiting room, waiting for your car to finish, right? They're out detailing them. And so I'm talking to this producer on the phone about the Mandela Effect. And he goes, he asked me, he goes, okay, well, what color is chartreuse? And I go, what color is chartreuse? The entire room was listening to my conversation, right? And one person after another came around and go, it's pink. It's pink. It's pink. It's maroon. It's pink. Pink. Pink.
Now I wouldn't have said that.
Right? And it went pink, pink. And then this guy sitting to my right, I got like 8 pinks in a row. I'm wondering myself, and I was thinking chartreuse. Man, I don't know. I was going into a zone where I was thinking pink too.
It's a yellow-green, if I recall correctly.
Well, again, right? I get that. And so 2 seats over, this older guy next to me, it turned out he worked for Disney. We talked later. He goes, it's green. And now the room, no. Now I got these people arguing, and the producer at History's laughing on the other end of the line. He goes, so what do you think? I go, man, it's like, isn't it like a light maroon? I don't think it's pink. I'm thinking more like a maroonish. And he goes, no, it's green, yellow green. I was like, no.
He's right.
Yes.
I mean, we're all right. Okay, that's the thing. But I totally know that it was a yellow-green because we had a chartreuse powder room when I was in the 80s.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, it was just bizarre to hear the people that had nothing to do with what I was talking about start to argue amongst themselves what color chartreuse was.
I started a small riot at a garage sale while I was looking for storybooks. I was looking for an old 3 Little Pigs, and so we had a little riot going on, and people were definitely opinionated.
Well, okay.
It was a good riot, not a bad. It wasn't a negative thing.
Caitlin just says C-3PO's legs was replaced. His leg was replaced in episode 5 to a silver one, right?
Yeah.
So now I have pulled up in Google original C-3PO costume, right? And I am looking right here, Star Wars, the original film, right? And it's a silver leg. He's standing there with R2-D2 on
so what you want to do is go and find what I've been deep into the Milwaukee Journal archives. I'm pulling stuff off of the AP when they are announcing, like a Berenstain Bears show. They're showing up in appearance. Like a lot of those things haven't changed. So a lot of product stuff like that you're going to find in the archives of the newspapers. Like if you want evidence, say, of Oscar Mayer, go look around July 1st, pick a year. It's up to you.
Right.
That would be most likely, when they started to advertise hot dogs for the 4th of July. So I've started thinking in terms like that, then checking the archives based on dates. And I'm seeing the printed ad with, MEYER. There's a big headline. I remember Oscar Mayer laid off 1,000 workers in 1986, and it was in the Chicago Tribune archives, and it was spelled MEYER. But, talk to a person who lives in Chicago now, they'll say, I was born and raised my whole life. It's always been Oscar Mayer. John Mayer.
Well, wait. I'm from Chicago.
Right.
Okay. I just looked at those Oscar Mayer logos, and I'm going to tell you right now, I wish I hadn't seen them next to each other because now I don't know.
I told you, a man who wears 2 watches.
Well, see, yeah. Well, this is the thing is I remember my entire life saying to myself, that is spelled incorrectly, right? In that, now I don't remember what the incorrect spelling is. I don't know if it was M-E or M-A, and I had issues with it growing up that it didn't feel right to me.
Well, so that's how you know that something is changing, when you're feeling weird. about it, when you're unsure. I got to tell you, I asked a 6-year-old who has no idea about anything. I said, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? Yeah. Have you seen the movie? No. So, it's a 6-year-old. Anyway, I asked her, what did she say to the mirror? And she said, it said magic mirror on the wall. I said, okay. I said, is that how you remember it? And she said, wait, no, I don't know why I said that. It's mirror, mirror on the wall.
Okay.
It's like she had like a little suggestion that it was magic mirror. But when I said, are you sure that's what she changed on a dime and went back to mirror, mirror on a wall. So I think that maybe there has been a little messing with the youth.
Wait. I want to get back to the Star Wars thing here.
All right.
Okay. Episode 5, was that Empire Strikes Back? Episode 4 was A New Hope, right? And his leg was replaced in episode 5, right?
I lost interest after 4.
Okay, well, now episode 4, A New Hope, that is Star Wars #1. That's the original, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody man, I don't even know now, but I'm looking here, a still, Star Wars episode 4, A New Hope, and it's C-3PO in a hallway with R2-D2. He's got a silver leg. And this I'm looking at it right here, Star Wars episode 4, A New Hope. I'm on the website. Okay, man.
And your mind has just got to be saying that isn't right.
Okay, C-3PO episode 4. That's it. I'm on a mission here. Episode 4. Okay. Same shot, man, on Tatooine. He has got a silver leg here.
Now, okay, so you're going to want to go look in, say, a costume store ad in a newspaper in an archive to find, what some of the original pictures look like. Back in the 80s, that's where I've been finding the most luck. 70s are good too. But those are the newspapers, that you're going to be able to find that stuff. But if you just, like I tried Googling initially things like, vintage logos and so forth. But Google didn't seem to be working. So I really did have to go into the deep net and remove myself from those types of servers. And so I had to go get, one of those NordVPN so I could change my IPS so that I couldn't be tracked. There's like 500 different servers that you can move into all types of archives. And there's a lot of text. It's a bit harder to read on that part of the internet. But let me tell you, you certainly are getting far more information. And it seems like when I put something into I think that when you're in the deep net, the search engine, one of the first ones that I started using is called DuckDuckGo. And it doesn't correct you. When you put something in like Berenstein Bears, it won't, retype it. I've noticed that with Google or other search engines. So this is where artificial intelligence begins to play back into it again, that they correct you. They self-correct to the way they want you to find it, even when you're trying to do a historical search.
Right. Let's. I've got to take a break right here, Laurie. I just went and looked at original C-3PO toys.
Yeah.
Silver leg. So that's a vintage toys. This is Fade to Black. We're talking about the Mandela Effect with Laurie McDonald. We'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
You get a Zipa. you get a Zipa, you hear me?
What's the name when you snore? It's Zipa, Zipa. It's the thing we're craving for. It's Zipa, Zipa. You can't sleep all night. Zipa, Zipa. And wake up feeling right. It's Zipa, Zipa. Makes me love my husband more, 'cause he no longer snores. Zipa, Zipa, it's Zipa, Zipa.
Zipa's different than any other device because it actually works. A lot of these other devices, they just bring the jaw forward, that's it. However, the thing that makes Zipa different, it stabilizes the tongue, basically, with this elastic band. But right here, Jimmy's telling you that this is a unique device. Go to Zipa now, buy it, and stop the snoring. Get a Zipa, ZYPPAH.com. Zipa.com. That's ZYPPAH.com.
Oh, fall. My favorite time of year. Cooler temperatures and, well, let's be honest, layers. Lots and lots of layers. Look, I get it. We all have that favorite hoodie. Matter of fact, I've got a few favorite hoodies. You should wear yours. Enjoy it. I do. But I stay focused on my health year-round. And for me, I take Nature's Youth RSF from nature'syouth.com. Nature's Youth RSF from nature'syouth.com. I eat right, control my portion sizes, still maintain a commitment to regular fitness, and I get plenty of rest, and I take Nature's Youth RSF. It's okay to cover up your beach body for a few months, but don't just forget about it. Nature's Youth understands exactly what it means to provide top-quality health products, and Nature's Youth customers not only improve their health, they know they're also providing their body with the right nourishment to maintain peak performance levels and fight the aging process. So layer up and get started today with Nature's Youth RSF. nature'syouth.com. Simple to use, even simpler to order. Go to nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
All right, welcome back, Fade to Black. One of my favorite peoples, Laurie McDonald. And we're talking about the Mandela Effect tonight. It's full-on night. And we need to move on, Laurie, from the C-3PO stuff. A lot of it, because it's messing with me. It's, I would have thought that I would have talked about this with my friends. You know, C-3PO having a silver leg. I just don't, so anyway.
Listen, when things begin to mess with you regarding the Mandela Effect, one of the things you should do is remind yourself that this is an opportunity to understand how consciousness can move from one perception to another.
No doubt.
But stay strong into what your own thoughts are. That's the thing. Don't become, maybe it is the other way. Maybe I'm misremembering. I think that you should sort of stay strong to what you know. Like I say, know what you know. And if you don't know it, let it go.
Right. Okay. I've got a bunch of calls here. So let's take these in order. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Laurie McDonald. Who's calling?
Hi, Laurie. Hi, Jimmy. This is Lisa from San Francisco.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Thank you so much for doing the show tonight, both of you. This is a fantastic topic, and the show is terrific.
Thank you.
I wanted to share with you and the listening audience that the Fadernauts, something that happened to me, it was quite a while ago, and I'd love to know if you think this is a Mandela Effect thing. I think it is. It was probably 10 years ago, and I was watching David Letterman, and he mentioned the passing of Les Moonves, the then CBS I believe he was the CEO of CBS. And then, and I would, I mean, he has a very unusual name. It's not something you would, you get confused about.
Right.
And then I remember a short while later, like a few days later, I happened to watch The View, and they mentioned the passing of Les Moonves. And then it was like 2 months later, I'm watching David Letterman again, and I think it's a repeat because it shows him on the phone on a split screen talking with Les Moonves. And I'm like, oh, it must be a repeat. But then they start talking about some events that happened that very day. And I was like, wait a minute, he's not dead anymore. It was just truly, it was like one of the first really, in your face kind of experiences I had like that I didn't let it throw me. I just thought, well, that's interesting. And just kind of listened for, nobody else. I never heard anyone else mention anything about it, but I've had quite a few of these, unusual experiences, even before I ever heard the term Mandela Effect. And I've had a lot of very odd experiences. But what I've tried to learn to do is just kind of, like you said, Laurie, just don't let it throw you. Don't let it, knock you off balance. I kind of try to think, bend like a tree and don't break. Just kind of catch the wave and let it pass, or let it pass.
Yeah, Lisa.
So it's drowned by it.
I got to tell you, and thank you for the phone call, and I can't wait to see you again. But that is exactly what we're talking about, and thank you for sharing that with us.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Awesome.
Thank you, Laurie.
Definitely a Mandela effect.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Thank you so much, Lisa. And
thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you know what, Lisa? Before I let you go, did you keep that to yourself, or did you share that with anybody else? Because that is something that I personally wouldn't verbalize. Did you just keep it to yourself?
I kind of kept it to myself because I didn't notice anyone else or see anything. I never saw anything in print about it. But after I saw that second David Letterman show, I was like, okay, that's one of those odd things that happens in my life.
And again, thank you for sharing that. I just had to ask you because that's something that you probably don't want people to know that happened to you.
But it was definitely high strangeness.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Laurie. Good night.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it, Laurie, about how many times this singular type event like that with Les Moonves, who could forget Les's name, right?
Right. Well, I've had my own individual personal Mandela effect that, I know exactly how she feels.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've had mine. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Laurie McDonald. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. It's Jeanette.
Hi, Jeanette. How are you?
Good. So I tweeted this on F2B, but a steel chainsaw. It's always been called a steel chainsaw ever since I was a little girl, and my dad has been a logger.
Right.
For about half his life. And then I see this commercial on TV, and it's called a steel.
Right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's spelled the same, but pronounced differently.
Right. I know what it's STIL, and you're saying that the steel chainsaw is called steel.
Yeah, now they call it steel. Instead, it's STIHL, I believe.
Oh, there's an H in there? Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay, now you're messing with me. Thank you. Well played.
So we've always called it a steel ever since I was a baby, and he used them all the time growing up, and now all of a sudden it's called a steel.
Right.
Yeah, so there's those certain ones that are really going to, impact you because beyond a shadow of a doubt, and that's when you have to really start investigating further into the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, Renee and thank you for the phone call. Thank you for pointing that out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette. Renee just sent me an email. She goes, it's Oscar Mayer, right? The spelling. She goes, but you always pronounced it Meyer, so you thought that it was spelled wrong. And maybe she's right in that.
Well, that's exactly what a lot of people assume that you're making a mistake.
Right. Man, see, I just don't know now.
Except that you remember the song, my bologna had a first name. My hot dog had a first name.
Oh, Mayer.
Yeah, and then my hot dog, you know how it goes. Don't make me sing it, Jimmy. Come on. But yeah, it was OSCAR. My hot dog has a second name. It's MEYER.
No, it's not. Is it MEYER? That's it. Laurie, I saw no chilled vodka for you on Saturday night. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Laurie McDonald. You're live.
Oh, hi. It's MEYER.
No,
it's MEYER.
I agree.
It's Oscar Mayer had a way with POLOG. Yeah, it's MEYER.
That's right. That's how I remember it too, from the 1970s commercials.
I remember the song.
Oh.
Yeah, my bologna had. Yeah, it's MEYER.
No. You guys are messy. Why? See, I know what you guys have done.
It is. It's MEYER. I remember the song.
You guys are teaming up on me. Let's screw with Jimmy. Let's see how far.
It's MEYER.
Oh,
that's how I recall it as well.
But I love your show. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for the phone call. So you're sure?
It's MEYER.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go listen to the song right now. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
The song has changed in this timeline, Jimmy.
Oh man, my beloved.
No, but actually, if you look at the
MAYE. It's MA, not ME. It's MA. Look, yeah. I can only imagine.
Then why would everybody just pronounce it wrong? Now that's another one. Just like the other big one, maybe you can get a caller on this.
Okay.
McDonald's or McDonald's. Now, some people are saying they remember the fast food restaurant being McDonald's, MAC. And when I had a glimpse of that, like standing in one when I was a little kid, and I think it was McDonald's. But of course, I do remember McDonald's. That's a very strong memory for me. But it's not a Big Mick. It's a Big Mac. So, we have to, that's a tough one there.
That's a tough one.
Why on earth would they call it a Big Mac?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of little things like that. Now, for that one, I don't know for sure because I was a child, but I remember I was a pretty good reader. And I remember standing in line. I remember that a hamburger was 20 cents, cheeseburgers were 25 cents, and I think it was at McDonald's. And that was in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, probably in about like 1968 or 69.
Well, that was Canada, though. You guys screwed everything up there.
Oh, no, not everything.
Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Laurie McDonald. You're live.
Hi. Hello. Diane here. How you doing tonight?
Hi, Diane. What have you got for us?
Oh, I have been down this rabbit hole since August. And it's crazy. I just went to the JFK conference, okay?
Right.
I know JFK stuff. I'm in Austin. Oh, my God. 3 speakers told me there's 6 people in the car. 1 speaker said there's 4. And I did not dare ask a question. I just was very strategic. And I'm like, how do I deal with this? I bought Crossfire, Jim Marrs' book, and there's 6 people on the cover. I'm like, you are shipping me. I cannot believe it.
Right.
It's crazy. So today I told my son, he came over to fix my washer leak, my ozone messed up on it. And I said, oh, son, I know you probably don't want to hear it again, Mother's Day anymore, but I have to tell you, there is this show that you remember. I know you got to remember this. And you remember Risky Business and Ray-Bans? Well, guess what? Tom Cruise doesn't have Ray-Bans anymore. He goes, no, Mama, no. Now, these kids were raised metaphysically. I mean, anything you can imagine has happened. Men in Black, whatever. And they're just sitting back on the sidelines going, holy cow. They don't want to hear any of my crap. Now, this one is tripping me out. And I'm like, no way. But it's time travel, I think. Definitely.
Yeah, I saw that Tom Cruise comes sliding out doing the Bob Seger song, and he turns around and he has no sunglasses on. I think I went,
Wait, stop. You're saying that in Risky Business, when he comes out to old time rock and roll, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
Bob Seger.
He does not have on Ray-Bans any longer.
No, stop. This.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. It's true.
Okay, get this. This one you got to hear.
No.
Listen, check this one out. I'm in Quantum Effect scriptural changes, right?
Oh, yes.
1,700 changes in the Bible. 1,700. Every day there's another change. It's crazy.
I've got those written down.
Christians are at war with each other. It is wild out here.
Okay.
Woo! I'm glad I'm on a safe place on Lake Travis. Well, y'all have a good time. I'm going down some more rabbit holes.
Good luck to you.
Okay. All right. I've got a picture right here. Tom Cruise in Risky Business, in his boxer shorts, in the pink shirt, wearing Ray-Bans. Right here.
Yeah, well, play the movie.
This is a scene from the... Okay, here's another shot. He's without him. Okay.
And there you have it.
Man. Okay. No.
So now we have to look at what do we remember? What do you remember?
I remember him having sunglasses.
So do I.
But
now I see the movie without the sunglasses. Yeah, so I mean that's what we're looking at. Iconic movie lines, titles or rules, books. We've got geography. That one's just mind-blowing. As people are talking a lot about the shape of the state of Florida and how it's not really pointing due east the way it did. It's sort of dropping down, pointing down to the panhandle, And I think that it was, more of a due east thing in my recollection. Lots of Mandela changes. They're happening all over. So we have to look at quantum thoughts and manifestation. There are people claiming they're responsible through their own thought, through their intent and conscious effort, that they've focused and created a change. I don't know if this is true, but I've watched several videos and tried to look at them objectively.
Right.
And in theory, it should work. Humans having unlimited potential.
No doubt. I have no issues with that type of theory. That you create your own reality, and I've talked about it before, and and we all have the ability to do that, or I would like to think that is possible, and certainly.
Well, that's what I basically teach throughout my private practice, is eventually to allow a person to fulfill their potential by removing either self-imposed limitations or limitations imposed on them by others. And freedom.
Right. So the power, if you were able to focus enough and rehearse enough, practice enough, right, and get this down, that type of quantum movement instantly, universally around the globe could happen to the point where everybody could be affected. Wow, that's a pretty strong person. Ultimately, would be a pretty powerful person in history. Right?
Well, I don't think it's one individual. I think it's a collective conscious thought.
Ooh.
I think that it's people tapping into it together. I think that when thoughts leave the mind, they follow the rules of like attract likes, and they create basically consciousness clouds or collective consciousness, and there's a collective unconscious as well. So we tap into and send into those energy fields all the time. So it's, I'm sure that these are the energies that we're dealing with. I mean, thought in itself is quantum. The quantum possibilities of a thought creates that wave, and it's either fulfilled or it's collapsed. And that's physics. So if it's physics that we're looking at for the reason for the Mandela effect, that's great. It's a way of understanding it. It helps us. But we still have to remember it's our individual consciousness and where we apply it, or where we have our personal perspective from. And that's what it's all about. But I think that's the main thing, although I believe that energy, that collective human conscious energy, is being hacked. I think it's being hacked, like I said, with alpha waves using sound frequency.
Right. And if this, okay, let's say that this is okay. All right, this is okay. And we can accept this. Okay. You know what I mean? Let's put that in the okay column. Let's accept this. Why the commercial side of things like Captain Crunch or C3PO or these commercial,
I think it's to get people's attention.
Could be. What about okay, all right. Let's grab this next call. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Laurie McDonald, but I'm going to ask you a question first. Who's calling?
This is Cliff from Houston, Texas.
Okay, Court. Court, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Jif or Jiffy peanut butter?
Jiffy.
See, Laurie, right there. It's a perfect example. Now that was just off. Have we ever met, Court? Have we ever met?
No. No.
There you go.
Because it is Jiffy peanut butter. Right here in Sacramento, California, we have a saloon called Fanny Annie's. And on the menu, they have a Jiffy peanut butter hamburger.
Right. But I'm looking here on the official Jif website.
Yeah, it's
Jif. Never been called Jiffy, ever.
No, people will lead you to believe that you're confusing the Iffy with Skippy.
But I always remembered it as Jiffy. I remember the stupid peanut butter jar that said Jiffy on it. And I'm looking at it here. I'm looking at a Jif, which doesn't even sound right. A Jif peanut butter ad from 1960. It's right here. I'm looking at it. But it was Jiffy.
Yeah, I think that's one of the patents I have, Jimmy, of a registered trademark and a patent text and image on the Jiffy trademark. So it was at one point Jiffy. So yes, it's extremely confusing when a person like me can go into the United States Patent Office, pull up full text and image in their database and get this information. And then we look elsewhere and we say, oh no, it's only ever been Jif or Oreo stuff with just one F. Or if it's extra stuff, they should have threw on the extra F.
Right. Well, check this out. Here is a letter that says, thank you for contacting the J.M. Smucker Company regarding Jif registered peanut butter. We appreciate your interest in our company and products. In response to your inquiry, the name Jif registered was chosen because it was easy to say, easy to spell, and remember. This is the only name we have ever used. It was nationally launched in the late 50s as Jif. Now, man, this is messing with me. Okay, Court, you called us, man. How you doing tonight?
All right. Well, let me throw a big curveball on this. My wife and I used to go to Galveston every weekend for 12 years. Every weekend. We have a boat down there, and we live in Houston. On the way down there was a set of apartments, just old rundown apartments on the left-hand side of the freeway, and they were painted pink. Every now and then, we drive down there, and I go, hey, look, sweetheart, they changed the damn color of the apartments to gray. And every now and then, look back over, and they look pink again. And I said to her, isn't it odd that they keep changing the color of these rundown apartments? Well, you pay no attention to it. They're just crummy old apartments. One day, about 10 years later, we're going down there, and the apartments are gone. And, oh, look, they finally tore down those apartments. Well, maybe they'll build something nice there. About a month later, we're down there, and I said, look, you're not going to believe it. There were those damn apartments. And we got off the freeway, drove over there, and looked at them. This big demolition company called Ocean was over there, and they were tearing them down. And I said to the guy, I said, when did you start this project? He said, Wednesday.
Wow.
And I said to my wife, I said, remember I told you that every now and then things change? And they change without explanation. I said, remember when I told you the light switch in the hallway was on the right, and you kept telling me it was on the left? Every now and then, But I don't think everybody experiences this. Just certain times we shift, or it shifts, whatever you want to call it,
right,
from one reality to another, and things are almost the same but slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an honest, true story. Those apartments change colors. So while we were there, I went over and I looked at the paint on them. I took out my knife and I peeled a little piece off.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were two colors. They were gray and pink, period, amen. There weren't no layers. Pink and gray, period, amen.
Now,
there you have it.
Yeah, and what's funny is you guys are going to be driving down the road next week, and they're going to be back.
No,
Well,
there's
that's-
brand new, big, fancy apartments put up there. But haven't you noticed, like Jiffy, it's always been Jiffy. It
Right.
wasn't Jiffy. It was Jiffy.
I'm telling you, it's
It
messing with me. Thank you for the phone call, Courtney. We have a
Yeah,
great
great story.
Yeah, great.
Have a good one.
And have a
Thank
great
you.
New Year's. You got it. Thank you so
You
much.
too. Thanks, Jimmy.
I've got, you know what? We're going to have to take a break, so I'm just going to let all the callers just stay right there. We'll get to you after the break, and we're going to keep the phone lines open for the rest of the night. What a great conversation tonight. And
It's amazing.
You know what's comforting in this madness is that I'm not alone. That's all. I'm not alone.
It is good to know.
Jiff is messing with me. You know, it truly is. And I've got a bunch of other stuff here, too, that we're going to go through. Now, Laurie, your point, I want to go back to your point really quick. I didn't let you finish. Why deal with popular culture, pop culture and commercial stuff? And you said, your answer was?
I think it's just to get people's attention, to begin to wake them up so that they become aware of the changes. Then we have to look at the changes and see if they're consciousness-based. But I also said that when we see variables change in things that are supposed to be constant, it can indicate a correction in a simulated reality.
Now, what about the other side of it? Like right now, The Man in the High Castle, right? We're in the middle of this, and it's Philip K. Dick, great book. The series is great, and it's about alternative history, and it's not Mandela Effect, directly, but it's exactly what we're talking about. And what if we, things start to surface that Germany won the war, right? What if this stuff starts to leak out? What if the other reality is the opposite of this reality, Superman Bizarro world, and that other reality is out there in this other timeline, and that is what is leaking back, right? Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, it absolutely makes sense.
Let's take a break right here, and we'll visit that when we come back. And if you're on hold, stay right there. We'll get to all of your calls. I promise. It's Laurie McDonald and the Mandela Effect, and we do want to hear from you. 323-825-5045. We'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
KGRA Radio. Intelligent talk.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If you have sciatica, then you know all about the crippling pain that travels from your lower back down your leg when a spasm occurs. It's brutal. In fact, it's enough to take your breath away. Dr. Zhang's Sciatica Nerve Cream helps relieve persistent, shooting pains associated with the sciatic nerve in the lower back and legs. This natural, homeopathic cream contains the most potent ingredients to soothe even the most excruciating pain associated with sciatica. Stop the pain now. Ask for Dr. Zhang's Sciatica Nerve Cream at your local health food store or go online to trasknutrition.com.
Would you like relief from muscle pain, headaches, and discomfort to sleep better, have more energy during the day, and just feel naturally amazing? Fibromalic can help. Its blend of malic acid and magnesium can provide pain relief and comfort for those who experience fibromyalgia. It helps your body absorb more oxygen, and it works quickly for a significant reduction in pain within 48 hours, all without a prescription. Ask for Fibromalic at health and vitamin shops or shop fibromalic.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
All right, welcome back, Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Laurie McDonald. We're talking about the Mandela Effect. Man, okay, lots of calls. Let's just, Laurie, let's weed through these. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Laurie McDonald. You're live.
Hello?
You're live right now.
I'm live right now?
Yes.
Oh, this is beautiful. Let me give you my favorite one that I caught just a little bit ago on the Darth Vader comment.
Yep.
If you go back and look at Tommy Boy as of a few months ago, you still have the Chris Farley character into the fan with that hand doing the Luke, I am your father. So that was still there a couple months ago. So kind of seems odd that, they'd have missed that one, but somebody else could verify that.
Right. Well, what is your memory? What's your name?
My name's Brent.
Hey, Brent.
No, it's Luke. There's no question it was Luke. I mean, my memory's really clear. It just seems like the biggest problem with all of this is the time delay. And so the time that you have a memory, the last time you might have seen something until the current time is the problem. So let me give you just a theoretical case.
Okay.
Suppose Jim Mars, the biggest JFK guy in the world, had as his screensaver on his desktop the picture of the limo with the 4 people in it right before, the incident. And he looked at that every single day until one day he fired up the computer, the thing came up, and suddenly there were 6 people in the car. You'd think he'd notice, right?
I would think, yes, especially with Jim, right?
Well, take that risky business and save that locally off and put it as a desktop, on one of your random machines and keep an eye on that, because if this really is a holographic universe and they're really going in and editing stuff and they catch it and you will look at that thing every day for, 3 months, and all of a sudden you walk in and there are no Ray-Bans. You just saw it.
Right. And which is back to my point, especially we keep going back to JFK, but I studied, and Brent, thank you for the phone call.
Oh
yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for the phone call. The thing is with JFK is that I watched the Zapruder film. Man, I'll never forget this. I watched it about 100 times or maybe 200 times in a 24-hour period, right? Just watched it over and over again, just trying to figure out, and it was so mind-altering, to see JFK get shot so many times, right? But I know how many times I watched that film over and over again, and my memory just doesn't say 6. And I watched it repeatedly, frame by frame by frame, and I was studying the directions of the way his head was exploding and falling back and forth, and trying to figure out these bullets. And when I found out that there was 6 in the car, allegedly, it messed with me because I know how many times I watched that film.
The 6-person theory also implies that Jackie shot Kennedy.
Yes, I've heard this. Yes.
I believe it's between frames 277 and 279 that her hand goes under, then switches and looks like she put something behind the seat.
Right.
It's very complicated, but if it were 6 people all along, don't you think that this theory of Jackie having a gun and pulling the trigger would have come up?
I remember
prior to this.
Yeah,
Mandela Effect.
I had a conversation with Jay Widener about this. And he was telling me about how he was a specialist, when it comes to Hollywood and film production, and what it takes to I forget exactly how he was describing this to me, but it had to do with fake bullet shots, right? And how they, his idea with this. But the point is, not so much that, but he was telling me that Jackie was involved, and you can see it in the film. I've never gone back and studied this again, but he was adamant about this. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Laurie McDonald.
Hi, Jimmy. Hi, Laurie.
Hi.
This is Fran.
Hi, Fran.
Hi, Fran.
Hi. I wanted to ask you, Laurie, you were talking about Fanny Ann's in Old Sac.
Yeah.
You been upstairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not in a while. I was barred for life,
floor?
but that's another story.
Okay.
But
What was that?
But yeah, I've been upstairs at Fanny Ann's.
Yeah. Upstairs, nailed into the floor, is a statement saying, "If you are reading this, you are under my control."
Oh, is that right? Did you ever see this, Laurie?
It was quite the night.
It must have been.
Okay.
Because I don't remember that.
The other thing was the bathroom doors have fingers pointing at opposite doors.
Yeah.
Women's this way, men's this way.
Yeah, I've been there recently. They didn't remember banning me, so it was all good.
Yeah, I got out of there alive. But Jimmy, the JFK thing, I had looked at those films also where 4 or 6, and I swear to God, I only remember 4. And doesn't it seem odd that the Connollys were facing forward? Wouldn't they be facing backwards?
Well, those were
like
fold.
jump seats?
Yeah, those were jump seats that face forward. I understand what you're saying there, but no, in that car, the 6-seater car, no doubt that those jump seats folded down and pointed frontward. I've gone over this ad nauseum trying to figure this out. So,
and the car in the museum is a 4-seater car.
Yes.
In the museum, a replica. I mean, down to the type of pantyhose she was wearing.
Right.
Everything is an exact duplicate. I don't see them making a mistake on the car.
Yeah.
It was a 4-seater in my mind.
Always looked very weird to me, especially when all this Mandela Effect came up and they were showing this. I went, wait, I remember watching that for years, and there was never 6 people in the car up until now.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where my mind is going with that. I don't. I can't quite deal with it.
Again, I think it's just a consciousness perspective. I mean, that's the most likely is that the consciousness of the parts of the population is able to perceive their reality. It's an alpha conscious, sort of like a higher self that can perceive from either the Sagittarius arm or the Orion arm. And for the listeners and the Fadernauts out there, check that. Look at the old physicists where they're talking about where we are in the universe, and then look at where the new ones tell us we are now. This is huge. This is significant. But I also am from, I want to say, timeline where I remember in the 4th grade, my teacher's name was Miss Keiston, and on the globe, she was from Australia, and she showed us an island to the left of Australia that she used to visit. That's kind of where the initial search for the Malaysian air flight was located.
Fran, let Laurie speak. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Finish that, Laurie.
Saying that the major location search for the missing Malaysian air flight was in the exact location of where this island was or used to be or was in another timeline. And there are several movie clips. One that everybody can check out easily is the Andy Griffith Show, and he has a globe in his bedroom, and it's 1st season, 2nd episode, and he's been sent to his room with no supper. And when they go up, the globe is in the background, and you can clearly see a good-sized island west of Australia. We don't have any evidence of that now.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I saw another movie clip besides that one that showed the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, where'd that island go?
Right. And it's interesting that that's also, sort of where the last location of the missing Malaysian airline disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
So maybe it's a portal. Maybe you can slip from one reality to another, not one dimension.
For sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
thank you for the phone
that's
call.
all I wanted to ask Laurie about is where that was.
Thank you so much, friend. That's a really good point.
The Sacramento place.
Well,
yeah, I'm going to go upstairs and check it out again.
Yeah, there you go. But
yeah,
that second island west of Australia. We have a pretty big Australian audience out there. Do they know what we're talking about? Thank you so much, Fran.
Okay.
Have a great New Year's.
Later.
You got
Good
it.
night.
Happy New Year, Fran.
Later, Laurie.
All right, that's that island west of Australia. Okay, let's see who.
Yeah, there are a couple of significant geographical changes. My husband's a travel writer.
Mm-hmm.
He's been everywhere. And all of a sudden, we see these rainbow mountains coming up in 2 locations, one in British Columbia, Canada, and one in China. And never in my history or geography lessons did I hear about the Rainbow Mountains in China. I'm sure, or in Canada, and I'm from Canada. And I'm sure that this is something that would have been marketed, postcards. But when we look at them, they say, they're like 25 million years old, and they're the rainbow colors because of ionization and so forth from different mineral deposits. But I don't remember ever seeing those. And people are saying that they feel the panhandle of the shape of Florida doesn't look like it's pointing east correctly. And if you go to Google Maps, you'll get the satellite image. Ask your phone, show me the state of Florida satellite image, and you'll see that it does seem to be changing direction a little bit. Now, these things are the harder things to wrap your mind around when you're looking at the Mandela effect. I mean, I've checked lots of old globes, I've pulled some old maps, but there's two areas specifically that if you haven't started looking after logo changes and you haven't started looking after iconic line changes and the fact that there's a new animal that's only been on the planet for 20 years.
Right.
If that hasn't got you thinking, then where we are in the universe and how we're experiencing, some people are experiencing vast geographical changes. This is something that is very difficult to look at. And it really points again to where our consciousness may have slipped into another alternate timeline. Our alpha consciousness. Maybe we all did this for a reason, to wake up.
Right. And when it comes to, I was so shocked to see this question come up about the Challenger shuttle explosion date, because for me, this is where I have a direct connection with the Mandela Effect, because I told, and my memory is very, very specific about this, and not to go over the details of it once again, but I had a roommate that I had to drive to work because he was the singer in our band for a couple of months, which only lasted at the very beginning of the band. Couple of months. I gave him a place to sleep, and for him to pay his rent, because he was, a singer. I had to make sure that he got to work in the morning. So I would drive him to work and over to Burbank from Pasadena. And then he had to be there like at 7:30. I would get back around 8 o'clock every morning. And that morning of the Challenger disaster, I was making coffee, and I turned on the TV with the remote control, and I watched the Challenger explode while I was making coffee. Now, I told that story forever. Yeah, man, I just took Daryl to work, man, and I got home, and I turned on the TV, and boom, right? I told the story over and over again for years. And then to find out that it happened in 86, January of 86, not January of 85, when I was driving Daryl to work, now messes with my head. Officially, I don't know I'm tripping. I don't know what to think here. This is an example of my personal experience with this, where I know the story that I told. Right? I know the story.
And what year was it?
It happened in 86. I remember it in 85 when this guy, Daryl, was living with me. And after that, and he only lived with me for a couple of months at the beginning of 85. After that, he moved out, and I don't ever think I saw him again.
Do you remember what month?
I remember it. It would have to have been early in 85, because the summer of 85, the band was off and running, right, with a new singer, and everything was fine, and we were playing club dates at that point, on the Sunset Strip. Mm-hmm. So this would have been early in 85, early.
Early spring.
Yeah, it would have to have been, because we had rehearsed and written songs with the new singer after that. And again, see, I'm talking about specifics here. You know what I mean?
I remember 86. My daughter was born in 1980, and she was in the first grade. She was 6 years old when that happened.
So you remember it as being 1986?
I do.
Yeah, and looking here, the examples that people have over the date of the Challenger explosion, some even thought it was in 84.
I've heard that. Yeah, that one didn't resonate with me at all. I remember because I believe that one of the astronauts was a first grade teacher, and my daughter was in the first grade at the time, and we, I've had a telescope in the backyard, their whole life. And so obviously we were very interested in space and the stars and the planets. And so I do remember it being 86.
Well, here's a statement here. I remember the Challenger disaster in 1984. Clearly, I was 14 years old in 1984. I was in junior high. This was a very clear memory to me because of science class. We were supposed to watch the event live on TV. But our class's test grades have been so bad, the teacher said we were not allowed to have a TV in the room as punishment. On that day, she gave us a busy work, and she left the room. She didn't say where she was going, just that we'd better do our work. But I had left my notebook in my locker. Students were not allowed in the hallways without a note. However, my parents were teachers at this junior high school, and all the teachers knew me, so I had special privileges. I left the classroom to get my notebook, and a bunch of teachers were in the library looking at a TV watching the Challenger disaster. So that's just crazy. Okay, let's go to Maria from Sweden. Maria, say hi to Laurie McDonald.
Hi, Laurie.
Hi, Maria.
Hey, Jimmy.
How are you, Maria? I know you've got a good Mandela story.
Well, my Mandela story is also the disaster, the space shuttle disaster. I remember it as 85.
You remember it in 85. Why?
I do.
Why?
Well, because my son was born in 86 while I was living in Colorado, and I remember it happening while I was working in Northridge before I ever moved to Colorado.
Right. And what year was your son born? 86?
86.
86. So were you pregnant when it happened,
No.
or you were not pregnant?
I was not pregnant when it happened.
See, yeah, man.
Now, I also, just now, I did a little research, and I thought Sally Ride was on that shuttle.
The teacher. Yeah, she was on, right?
Yeah, I believe she was.
She died in 2012.
Well, actually, there's some stuff online saying that none of them died. And they show these pictures. And of course, I know that people's faces can be age advanced and projected into what they might look like down the line. But they had some pretty good shots of each and every one of them and what they look like now. And yeah, I believe that a couple of them have passed away. But they say that in this reality, it split apart, and they were they were low enough that they went into the ocean, and they were rescued.
Wait.
Well, this says
yeah, there's
that
some
wasn't
stories
even
saying that
on
they didn't die at all.
Wait. Okay. Sally Ride. Yeah. Okay. It says here she died in 2012 in La Jolla. But was she, okay, who was the teacher that was on the Challenger? That was Sally Ride? Are we just confusing things here?
No, I don't think Sally. Well, I don't know. Was she the teacher?
Who was the teacher that was on the Challenger?
Well, let's see. I think there's a link here for the disaster.
Challenger
I remember Sally
teacher.
Ride being on that.
Kristen McAuliffe?
No, yeah, Krista McAuliffe. That was the teacher.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Whew. Okay. I don't need anything else tonight to confuse me.
Well, I remember Sally Ride being on that Challenger as well.
Yeah. No, it was Krista McAuliffe.
Right, the Teacher in Space Project. I just pulled it up here. I can see it now.
Yeah,
Krista McCall in 1986.
Yeah, I just got a flood, and Renee hit me with an email, and Twitter just lit up. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so let's we can relax on that one.
Well, I still remember Sally Ride.
Yeah, and getting,
not as the teacher, but that she was on the Challenger as an astronaut.
Check out this post. I have not a doubt the Challenger exploded in 1984. I lived in an apartment in Barrie, Ontario, and was preparing for my daughter's wedding. The TV was on, and I saw the disaster. In 1986, my first grandson was born 2 years after the marriage, and I lived in Toronto, Ontario. Whoa. Can such family memories outshine the date of the Challenger? No way. They are permanent, and the explosion
that's
happened.
Exactly it. When you have memories that are like that, like my son being born.
Or like my doofus.
You don't forget that.
Yeah, or like my singer that couldn't sing, right?
Right.
That's a permanent memory, man. That's never getting altered.
And of course, there was the movie theater that wasn't there when I went back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Just
that was trippy.
I'm looking at one post after another about this 1986 thing, and like I said early on in the show, I'm just glad that I'm not alone in this, because this is really messing with my head.
Well, I've been trying to find reports of people in other countries, South Africa for sure. I also noticed somebody said, "Hey, how are the people reacting in South Africa?" The whole thing is after Nelson Mandela,
right?
And I'm going to tell you, I remember him dying in the 80s. I remember people crying in the streets of South Africa. I remember standing in my living room. I was aware of apartheid. I saw his wife make a speech, and I was saddened that he died in prison, and I was affected by it. So when I saw Obama taking a selfie in 2013 at Nelson Mandela's funeral, I was shocked, because I believed him to have been passed. Now, I have found a school textbook from Johannesburg, where it says it's a book is dated 1991, and it does say that Nelson Mandela died in prison in 1989 or 88 or something.
You have the school book?
No, I have a copy.
Oh.
I don't have the original. I'm trying to get the originals of everything.
Right.
I've spent a small fortune on the Mandela Effect, ordering things, checking registered trademarks, ISBN numbers, and just doing, what a researcher does, because I got a fact check here. And basically all I know is something is happening.
Is your better half cutting you off on your funding?
Oh, he wouldn't think of it. He's completely supportive, but he has said, "Hey, take a break," because he'll find me. But I like to work at night, so I'll be up from maybe 1 until 5 in the morning. It's quieter, I think, better, and I think it might disturb him a little bit more than the money.
Maria, thank you for the phone call. And what are your plans for New Year's? I assume that Sweden invented New Year's Day, because
don't make fun of me.
They yeah, big plans.
You're gonna make fun of my Christmas call, okay?
No, I would never do that. You guys?
No, I don't have any plans, because I have a dog that really freaks out over fireworks, so I stay at home to keep her calm.
Well, just be safe out there, and do your thing on New Year's, and maybe we'll do a live stream. Laurie, that's what we should do. We should live stream Saturday night.
Excellent,
man.
There you go.
We're going to freak some people out. Thank you so much, Maria. Be safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow night on the show.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, this shuttle thing. When I started to look into this, and I found just streams and post after post after post after post with everybody confused. Not confused. Confused is wrong.
Right. It's just an alternate memory.
It's
crazy. I believe both existed. See, I don't think anybody is wrong or right. I think both actually happen. Both timelines exist, just a frequency off. Our consciousness has the ability to transcend both time and space, moving in and out of the body. It certainly can move into another dimension.
Right. Let's take a break right here. Our guest tonight, Laurie McDonald, the last fade to black of the year. And it's with Laurie McDonald. We're talking about the Mandela Effect. We're going to keep the phones open. 323-825-5045. More with Laurie right after this short break. Stay with us.
Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had gout in both my knees, and it's gone.
Well, I'm pretty stupid. I should have ordered it 15 years ago. Best thing I ever got in my. It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life.
He had eczema on his hand, and it cracked for years. He did anything from doctor, every cream, everything. And 3 months on the veggies and fruit, it was gone.
They're just awesome. They keep asking me, what am I doing? I told them what I did with my cholesterol. I had the blood test, right? And it went down 100 points. 262, now it's 162. Everything is just perfect.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Call now, 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code TSL.
Would odors, mold, and mildew describe your basement or crawl space? It doesn't have to be that way. Transform them into a fresh, healthy, usable one with the technologically advanced Wave moisture control units. The computerized operation maximizes moisture control and also expels harmful radon, combustion gases, and numerous other pollutants. Dehumidifiers are old technology that do nothing for air quality and waste energy. Wave units are intelligent, self-monitoring, do not need maintenance, and will save you hundreds in electricity. Wave units are still running effectively over 15 years. They've been tested and installed in public and military housing and by property managers nationwide. Buy a unit now, and if your home is not fresher and drier, you can return it for a full refund for up to 12 months. What have you got to lose? Call now. 1-888-618-WAVE. 1-888-618-WAVE. Or visit mydryhome.com. That's mydryhome.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hard shell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to JimmyChurchRadio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tepe.
This is Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, our guest, Laurie McDonald. We're talking about the Mandela Effect. And I was, right before the break, I was going through some stuff here from different posts. And Laurie, check this out when it comes to the Challenger. This is from George. He says, wait. Challenger didn't explode until 86? That is not possible. I was in high school in 86. The shuttle exploded when I was in junior high. I remember because I was watching it in history class with my crazy 8th grade history teacher. And then here's another one. Here's a post from Steve. Steve says, I was 13 in 1984 and clearly and distinctly remember watching the explosion live in middle school. I remember almost everybody crying, the sound of Mrs. Marsh's voice breaking as she tried to calm us down, and then several minutes of people crying or being silent, and then the school's principal voice coming over the loudspeaker asking all the teachers to turn off the television sets and to have all the students meet in the gymnasium. You know, wow.
See? Yeah, it's so intriguing, but we are living in astonishing times. Things like that continuously keep happening. There's so much phenomena. And the Mandela Effect has got people very traumatized on certain levels because they believe so deeply that it was this, and then, you know, reality shows them that it is not and has never been. And so it's very difficult, but that's when you have to really move into your own self and believe inside of yourself, and then just do your research and try to figure it out. But it's just like any phenomena, like the extraterrestrial phenomena. It's not really so much about what is changing. It's just that it is changing, and how is our consciousness affected by these changes, and how much control do we have over it? And if there is some type of, you know, government agency that is aware of the specific brain frequencies that are causing this shift, then perhaps they might like to hijack them and use them for themselves for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
So
I really like the CERN angle on this, because one of the things when we think about, not only with CERN, but when you go back to the Manhattan Project and you go out to New Mexico and them not knowing what was going to happen, right? Some thought that everything would be vaporized all at once, and it would be the end of civilization, and you know, it
some
would be this
people believe that happened.
Right. And so with CERN, exactly the point. And so when you think about CERN, they don't know what they're doing out there, right? You want to create a black hole that is supposed to suck in stars, right? And you want to just go and do something and not know what the ramifications are. So they go and they do something crazy out there, and then suddenly, right? We've changed history, right? We've altered the wall in between parallel realities. You know,
there's a convergence,
a melding. You know, and just some crazy accident, and they got caught because we started to realize with ourselves. And going back throughout history, our memories are different than what is being shown to us as the past, as fact, and that's interesting. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Laurie McDonald.
Hi, Jimmy. This is Donna from Hawaii. Hi, Laurie.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi. Yeah, I was wondering. You know, I've been thinking when I've been listening to you guys talk, and I was wondering. It almost sounds like this could be some type of gaslighting effect. You know, where they. I'm not saying it's being done by the government in that sense, because I don't think they'd have the power, you know, to be able to do such a thing. But it's almost like, you know, how crazy this year's been, and one person will say one thing and one will say another, and both believe they have the actual facts, and you're going, how could they believe, like the flat earthers, how could you believe such a crazy thing? And they're convinced that that's the fact. So I'm wondering if it's kind of getting us to be a little shook up, to not really trust our own conscious memories.
Exactly.
And, you know, what is a memory?
And I think that's the point.
Bingo.
That's the point. They're
Bingo.
shaking you up, showing you two versions, and making you have self-doubt. Do I remember this correctly, or don't I? You know, and that creates a certain underlying anxiety in the consciousness. Self-doubt is a horrible affliction, because it hampers growth in all areas. It's stifling, and that's what it's doing. It's stifling the consciousness, which brings me back to the hijacking theory.
I had one, you know, because I don't usually get shook up by things like that. I remember Jiffy, and if it's Jiff, you know, it doesn't really seem to bother me. But when it's personal, like I had, I guess a man from your show, from Jimmy's show, and this was several months ago. I came home from work. I wanted to listen, and I turned it on, and it just started, and I fell asleep. And I was like, I woke up about an hour later. I look at the clock and I go, oh, hour. And then it was just starting. And I went, no way. How could it be just starting? It was like the time had changed somehow. I know I was asleep for an hour, and your show usually started at 4, and it wasn't a daylight savings thing at that point because now it's starting at 5 for me. But it really shook me because when I went, how could it just be starting? I know when I turned it on, I heard him, the music come on, and you were starting, and you were talking, and then I fell asleep, and then I woke up, and it was just starting.
Nice.
That was the weirdest phenomenon for me.
Nice.
I was like, oh no, I missed an hour. And I'm like, how could it just be starting?
That is so cool. That is so cool.
It was creepy, but in the sense because it made me like I almost felt like it was an alternate reality of my own. Like I started going, did I maybe imagine that? Did I think I heard it start? Did I just your mind goes through all sorts of things.
Right.
I kind of relate to your personal ME. I awoke in my bedroom and sat straight up in my bed, and I gotta say though, I sensed like the silhouette of a person maybe from the 30s or the 40s, sort of fedora, outline hat, long jacket, and I scanned my room, and I have 5 windows in my bedroom. And as I scanned them all, as I got to the 5th window, the drapery was different than it was supposed to be. And I quickly looked back to my doorway and I blacked out. And then I don't know how much longer, I woke up again in exactly the same position. I sat up, same energy, same golden light coming through the window, scanned the room, and the drapery was as it was. And I kind of tell you, I think I woke up in an alternate reality and went back to sleep. And it's almost like somebody saw me wake up in an alternate reality, kind of blacked out, woke back up where the draperies are as they should be. And that's my own personal Mandela effect.
Wow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wow. Donna, thank you so much, and have a great...
thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, and have a great, safe New Year's, okay? We'll see you tomorrow night on the show.
Me too. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow night. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Donna. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, I've got 2 things I want to get out of the way. One, when it comes to the Mandela Effect, is David's soul, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is the crazy thing about David's soul, right? I thought he was dead. And about, I'm not going to say who, and they're probably listening to the show right now, but a friend of David Soul's says to me about 2 months ago, no, we're on the phone, hey, would you like to get David Soul on the show? And I said, I'm thinking about it, dude is dead. Right? That's what, and I was so confused with this conversation. And I was like, wait a minute. No. And I'm trying to play it off. I'm trying to be cool. Really, what's he working on now? It just, I did, and anyway, so I'm confused. And I run in to the bunker, and I jump on the computer, and I find out that he's still alive. And then I see this whole chain of Mandela Effect about David Soul, that everybody thought that he was dead, just like Mandela. So did I. And wasn't that trippy? And I almost, you know what? I can get David Soul on the show, right? I have a direct connect to David. And maybe we should get him on to talk about the Mandela Effect, to see how he has, I'm sure he's gotten a lot of email lately. Dude, I heard you were dead, right?
Well, they did speak to the actor who played Darth Vader. What's his name? A momentary lapse.
Oh, yeah. I just saw a whole documentary on him.
Yeah, he said that... In a documentary that I saw, he said, yeah, it was Luke, I am your father. But then they spoke to him in person recently and asked him about the Mandela Effect, and he said he has no recollection of that show that he did. And he said what they're saying is, I am your father.
Right. I saw that clip. I did see that. I did see
Isn't
that clip.
that interesting?
Yeah, pretty trippy. I feel so bad for him. Okay, now, really quick. Well, not really quick. Take your time. Nancy wants to know if you have a nickname. I have the feeling that there's something more to this question. And judging from your... Okay, what's your nickname?
I have a few. I answer to anything that sounds nice. No, I don't really have a nickname. People refer to me as something quite a lot, but most people call me Lore.
Okay.
Not Laurie. So I don't know if that constitutes as a nickname.
Do I need to get clarification on why this question is being asked?
I do. Okay.
Okay. Second story Laurie. That just came in real time.
Okay, yeah, I've been called that also.
Okay.
Meaning, if you lock your keys out, don't worry about it. I got you covered.
I have no idea what you just said.
It means that I can get into any place. Second story Laurie. It's like a cat burglar for that. What? Yeah, so I can, maybe pick a lock or two, or don't have a problem scaling a wall, sliding down, shimmying in, moving through. Whatever it takes, Jimmy. Second story Laurie. You got it.
Seriously?
Yeah, there's a story. I'll tell you, but not now.
No. I want to hear. And so does the audience.
No, they're going to have to wait. That's like a 2017 story.
Oh, man. You're not right. Can you clean it up a little bit?
No, it's not bad. It's just I have skills. Can pick a lock, pop open a window, shimmy in, remove my prints, whatever it takes. I know what she's referring to, and I did it.
All right. I can't wait to hear the rest of the story. Okay. Before I let you go, I'm going to see you in a couple of days, down here.
To it.
And 2016 was traumatic. And if we, how crazy does 2017 have to be if it is more out of control than 2016? Is that possible?
No, I think people can see what 2016 was like. They now have an incredible opportunity to take personal responsibility and make changes in their life, little ones, little things that make them feel happier, more productive, more accepting of circumstances, maybe tap into their own potential and create and design the world that they want to live in, or the America that they want to live in. I think it's time in 2017 that people take back their personal power, step up, and do what's right.
Thank you so much, Laurie. And safe travels down here. We will see you in a couple of days. And very excited. Thank you so much, Laurie. And there you go.
Thank you for having me.
Normally, I would say, we'll get you on the show again. So we're going to see you in 2 days. So just get down here, be safe, and bring your appetite. And then we'll see you, and we'll roll in 2017 together. Thank you so much, Laurie.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Laurie McDonald, TrueYouHypnotherapy.com. Laurie McDonald, the absolute very best. That was one of the funnest shows that I have done in recent memory, and I've got to say, the Mandela Effect is real. All throughout the show tonight, I had my mind blown one time after another. That whole Oscar Mayer thing is messing with me. The Fruit Loops is messing with me. I cannot let Challenger go. I cannot. Cap and Crunch that's been messing with me for 30 years. And these are just this is the on the surface stuff. It is one thing. Jif. I mean, look, I get it. Jiffy Pop and Jiffy Lube. And yeah, I get that. But that has nothing to do with what I remember with that peanut butter. And I'm a big peanut butter guy. So there you go. Oh, Laurie's nickname, UFO Magnet. See, that some people have great memories. All right. This is our last show of the year. Tomorrow night's going to be Fader Night, open lines all night long. We're going to have John Rappaport here. And so I do want to say thank you to everybody. I've got about 3 or 4 really cool breaking news stories here that I just want to get in so you guys can trip for the rest of the night. NASA's Cassini spacecraft, currently orbiting Saturn, has captured the best photo yet of the planet's small cratered moon, Pandora. All right, go check out the images right now over on our Facebook page, on the radio page. It's nuts. Cassini took the new Pandora photo earlier this month from a distance of about 25,000 miles. This is the closest ever pass of this little tiny moon. Saturn's Pandora is just 52 miles across. It's small. Orbits the planet from just outside the planet's slender F ring. The scale of this photograph is 787 feet per pixel. Check it out. Now, listen to this. This might be the best story of the entire year. A fingerprint ID locked phone wasn't enough to stop a 6-year-old from getting her holiday shopping done. Online purchases have been a pain in the wallet for most parents, and especially when it comes to underage kids, right? With the Federal Trade Commission hitting Apple, Google, and Amazon with complaints accusing the companies of making it too easy for kids to make in-app purchases. Kids buying online without their parents' consent has cost these companies millions of dollars in settlements. But for Bethany Howell in Arkansas, her daughter's unsolicited shopping spree reportedly cost her $250 in Pokemon. That's right. The wannabe Jane Bond used her mother's thumb to unlock a phone and open the Amazon app as Mom napped on the couch 3 days before Christmas. That's right. Little Ashland ordered 13 Pokemon gifts for herself and told her parents she was shopping when they thought their Amazon account got hacked. The 6-year-old at least reassured her parents, though, that she got the shipping address right. Howell, I'm not making this up, Howell was only allowed to return 4 of the items after her daughter's scheme was foiled. She told Ashland that Santa Claus learned about her fingerprint folly and wouldn't be bringing her all her gifts on Christmas morning. Apparently, St. Nick isn't the only one who sees you when you're sleeping, if you know what I mean. But my advice here, if you're a parent, start wearing gloves to bed. 6 years old, man. 6 years old, and thought about doing that. That's incredible. Me, I would have let her keep everything, man. I would have done it. But definitely start wearing gloves to bed. That is one of the great stories of the year. Now, I just want to ask the Fader knots out there, did any of you apply to sell medical marijuana in Nevada? Yeah. Did you? Well, check this out. They may have published all of your personal information online. So if you applied to sell medical marijuana in Nevada, you need to go and check with the authorities, because Nevada, I'm using air quotes here, accidentally published 11,700 8-page application for those that were trying to run a medical marijuana dispensary. The data was available through the state's website. All 8 pages. Information on the applications made public included names, home addresses, your weight, your height, your race, your hair color, your eye color, your driver's license, and your social security number. There you go. You think that was an accident? I just don't think so. A group of scientists, now this is some of the biggest news of the year, and a great way to close out 2016. A group of scientists are making sure E.T. knows where we are. And this, my friends, is real. It's called the Messaging Extraterrestrial Intelligence. METI. METI. Not SETI. METI. And it will be reaching out to other life forms in space within a year. The San Francisco-based organization are working on sending messages to other planets using radio and or laser signals. The project is the first of its kind to transmit powerful and sustained signals right now to space throughout a number of years. The plan is to dispatch signals first to that rocky planet orbiting our nearest star, Proxima Centauri. That's right, Proxima b. After that, the target of these signals will be destinations further away, up to hundreds or even thousands of light years. And that is some of the best news that I can share with you. And really quick, something crazy just happened in New Jersey. Dozens of dead birds rained down in November, and, well, it has people freaking out. In all, 200 red-winged blackbirds fell to the ground in a rural area of farm fields. And it wasn't the first time. Dozens of dead birds have been found in the same area only 3 weeks before that. The 200 dead birds fell 2 days before Thanksgiving in the western Cumberland County agricultural community of Stowe Creek Township. But weeks later, the mystery remains. Nobody knows. Local farm seeds were tested for chemical compounds by the University of Pennsylvania. No harmful substances were found. In 1998, 10,000 birds dropped on fields in Minnesota and Iowa after a snowstorm. A similar die-off involving 300 birds happened in Millville, New Jersey in 2012. With that, this is Fade to Black. Thank you to the one and only Laurie McDonald, the Mandela Effect. That's, man, you know, it's kind of funny in a couple of phone calls tonight. It is a rabbit hole. That one is a crazy one. I can't wait till we get to the bottom of it. We will. Thank you, Laurie McDonald. Tomorrow night, Fader Night. John Rappaport and his No More Fake Newsroom live. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Camarion. Show is produced by Hilton J. Paul, Mark D. Kovar, LJ3, Renee, Jonas. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Fady by Dale. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. Syndication is KGRA, The Planet. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2016 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. They cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Until tomorrow night, everybody be safe. Go Beckley Teppy.